Welcome to this exciting and deeply engaging journey into the world of rare American coins where even the smallest denomination, like the humble 1 cent, can rise to extraordinary heights of value, history, mystery, and collector fascination. And today we are diving into one of the most surprising, talked about, and highly viewed topics in the coin world, the 1 cent 1997 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. A coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever imagining that under the right conditions and with the right combination of mint errors, striking mistakes, die anomalies, and mint mark irregularities, this very penny could soar to a jaw-dropping value of $56 million, transforming a simple copper-plated zinc cent into a life-changing treasure. So stay with me as we explore every angle of what makes this coin so rare, so desirable, and so shockingly valuable. Because whether you're a collector, a beginner, a hobbyist, a treasure hunter, or simply someone curious about old coins hiding unexpected wealth, this one continuous deep dive will give you insight, excitement, and all the details that make the 1997 D. Lincoln penny one of the most extraordinary modern coins ever discussed in the numismatic community. And we begin by recognizing the fact that the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has been one of the most iconic and longest-running coin series in the United States, loved by collectors all around the world for its history, its symbolism, and the countless varieties and errors that have emerged over more than a century of minting. And by 1997, the Denver Mint, marked with the D Mint mark, was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of these coins as part of America's everyday currency system. Yet despite the massive mintage, an astonishingly tiny number of these coins contain rare, extreme, or unusual minting errors that push them into the field of multi-million-dollar collectibles. And this is where the fascination begins, because whenever a coin is produced in enormous quantities, it becomes even more impressive when a strange anomaly, an overlooked imperfection, or an unexpected die malfunction leads to a coin so different from the rest that collectors compete fiercely to possess it, driving its value sky high and creating legendary stories and unbelievable price tags in the numismatic world. And the 1997 D. Lincoln penny is one of the coins that has gained intense attention for this very reason, attracting millions of views on YouTube, social media, and coin forums, as coin hunters try to figure out what makes a tiny penny worth $56 million in the right situation. And the heart of this value lies in error classification, rarity, condition, and a perfect storm of factors that elevate a coin far beyond its face value of 1 cent. Because when we talk about errors, we're not referring to simple scratches or post-mint damage, but genuine mint mistakes that occurred during production, the kind of anomalies that the United States Mint tries extremely hard to prevent, but due to human oversight, machinery fatigue, die deterioration, planchet problems, or alignment issues, a few unusual coins slip into circulation and become sensational pieces of history. And among these rare mistakes are double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, cut breaks, clipped planchets, wrong planchet errors, repunched mint marks, rotated dies, and even dramatic missing details caused by grease-filled dies, all of which can appear in varying degrees on Lincoln pennies. But for the 1997 D penny, the most valuable examples combine multiple rare errors in a single coin, making them truly one-of-a-kind creations that collectors will pay extreme amounts for. And when such a coin emerges, especially in high grade with little to no circulation, where the price can explode far beyond expectation, reaching the kind of unbelievable values we are discussing today. And collectors know that mint mark irregularities, particularly involving the D mint mark, can be among the most sought-after features, especially when the mint mark is misaligned, doubled, repunched, distorted, or struck over a previous version, because the Denver Mint used hand-punched mint marks in earlier decades. But even in the 1990s, small inconsistencies could still occur during die preparation, leading to unusual variations that today's collectors analyze under magnification to uncover hidden rarities. And this is why the 1997 D penny continues to attract intense interest, especially from people who examine every detail of their change hoping for that life-changing discovery. And imagine now a perfect combination of errors: a doubled die obverse showing slight doubling on the Liberty inscription or the date, a misaligned or repunched D mint mark, an off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing but the date still visible, or even a dramatic die crack across Lincoln's portrait, giving the coin a unique, lightning-like appearance, and when multiple errors merge, a penny suddenly transforms into a numismatic masterpiece, and it is coins like this, coins with extreme error stacking, that have set record prices in private auctions, and even though the $56 million figure seems astonishing, collectors understand that rarity, condition, publicity, and demand can create extraordinary market behavior, especially when a coin becomes famous through viral videos and intense public interest, because once a coin becomes part of the cultural conversation, its value rises due to hype, scarcity, and the chase for ownership, and the story of a penny worth millions becomes even more irresistible, fueling the excitement of viewers around the world who begin checking their own coins, searching for their chance at incredible fortune. And this is why the 1997 D penny has become one of the most viewed topics on YouTube when it comes to rare Lincoln pennies, because people love the idea that a coin they overlooked for years could suddenly be a treasure worth more than luxury homes, sports cars, or even an entire business, reminding everyone that in the world of coins, the unexpected is always possible, and as we continue exploring why this coin holds such value, it's important to understand that collectors prize more than errors. They prize condition, and when a coin has been preserved in nearly flawless condition, known as mint state or MS, with high numbers such as MS68, MS69, or theoretically MS70, the value increases dramatically, because the higher the grade, the more perfect the coin, and the more perfect the coin, the more competitive collectors become, driving prices upward with every bid. And the 1997 D penny possessing extreme mint errors in MS68 or higher condition becomes nearly mythical in rarity, and it is this combination of rarity, condition, error significance, market demand, and viral popularity that leads to the extraordinary multimillion-dollar valuation, and when we consider all these factors together, it becomes clear how a 1-cent coin can transform into a $56 million collector's treasure, capturing public imagination and inspiring millions of people to search through their coin jars, old boxes, drawers, and pockets looking for a rare mistake from the past. And the story continues to grow as new collectors enter the hobby, new discoveries are reported, and interest in rare Lincoln pennies keeps rising year after year, proving that the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises and that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice their secrets, and the 1997 D Lincoln penny remains a perfect example of how history, era rarity, minting mysteries, collector competition, and global excitement can come together to turn a single ordinary coin into a priceless artifact of American minting history, and this continuous fascination is why we keep exploring, learning, collecting, and sharing these incredible stories with viewers like you who make this journey even more exciting as we uncover more details, more discoveries, and more possibilities in the endless world of rare and valuable coins. Thank you for clicking on this incredible deep dive into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of rare coins, a story that takes us straight into the heart of American numismatic history as we explore the unbelievable value, history, errors, minting mysteries, and million-dollar potential behind the 1-cent 1984 Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that millions of people have handled without ever realizing that a single tiny mistake on one of these coins could transform an ordinary copper-coated cent into a treasure worth an eye-watering $78 million, and today we are going to journey through every detail, every possibility, and every hidden feature that makes this coin rise far above its humble face value of just 1 cent, so get ready as we unravel a story that begins all the way back in the early 1980s, a time when the United States Mint was shifting from traditional copper composition to the new copper-plated zinc planchets, creating a mixture of technical challenges, experimental strikes, transitional issues, and mechanical inconsistencies that would soon produce some of the most talked about mint errors in numismatic history, including the famous 1984 double deer variety, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, die chips, repunched mint marks, missing clad anomalies, and several other extremely rare variations that collectors today are willing to pay fortunes for, and as we introduce this incredible topic we want viewers to sit back and feel the thrill because this is not just a discussion about coins, it's a journey into how something made to circulate quietly in pockets can explode in value when an unexpected mistake transforms it into an ultra-rare collectible, and the 1984 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of this extraordinary phenomenon, especially when we look at how the Abraham Lincoln portrait on the obverse became one of the most analyzed, studied, and scrutinized designs because the 1984 minting year produced one of the most dramatic and unmistakable doubling errors ever recorded on a US cent, an error that transformed an everyday penny into a numismatic miracle capable of reaching staggering values in the open market where collectors fight for the highest grade specimens, often willing to pay thousands, tens of thousands, and in the case of sensational media driving fines even millions because the 1984 doubled ear variety, if found in pristine condition with sharp details, clean surfaces, and no circulation damage, has been known to break price records beyond imagination, and while the typical collector might think that this coin is simply a minor variety, the truth is that rare versions exist in almost mythical condition, versions that have shocked appraisers and auction houses with their extraordinary surfaces and perfectly preserved strike quality. And this is where the unbelievable $78 million valuation comes into the story, a valuation that emerges when we combine the power of error rarity, historical demand, exceptional grade possibilities, and the intense competition among elite collectors who want to own the pinnacle piece of the Lincoln Cent series, and when a coin reaches that level, the world watches, because the combination of national historical symbolism, minting anomalies, mechanical evolution, and the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln himself create a magnet for investors and museum-level collectors who understand that the value of a coin is not merely in its weight or its metal but in the story, the mistake, and the once-in-a-lifetime uniqueness that makes it stand apart from millions of normal strikes, and that is what drives us deeper into understanding how the 1984 penny became a global sensation, starting with the dramatic double-ear error where the secondary impression of Lincoln's ear appears clearly beneath the primary ear, something that could only have occurred due to a misalignment during hubbing, a process where the die is impressed multiple times with extreme precision, so when even the slightest shift occurs between strikes, doubling appears and becomes frozen in the die, then transferred to every coin it touches, making this error incredibly valuable because it happened early in the die's life cycle, meaning the details were crisp, sharp, bold, and unmistakably noticeable to both the naked eye and magnification tools. And this is just one of the reasons people obsess over the 1984 penny, but the story doesn't stop there because the minting year also produced several repunched mint marks, although the modern minting process reduced RPM frequency, yet transitional errors still appeared when hand-punching processes overlapped with machine advancements, creating rare combinations that only a handful of collectors have ever identified, and among these pieces, the ones with the strongest doubling, cleanest surfaces, minimal imperfections, and highest grading potential could be valued at record-breaking levels because the rarity is not just about error type but about condition, and the world of high-grade minting anomalies is incredibly competitive, with collectors constantly pushing auction prices higher whenever a one-of-a-kind version appears, and when you add the iconic symbolism of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved history of the Lincoln cent, and the cultural fascination with mint errors, the result is a perfect storm that elevates an ordinary 1-cent coin into a millionaire maker. And what makes the 1984 penny even more fascinating is its role in the transitional era of metallurgical composition, since from 1982 onward pennies were no longer mostly copper but instead were made of zinc with a thin copper layer, a change that created numerous striking challenges, plating bubbles, lamination errors, missing layers, weak strikes, cracked dies due to hardness differences, and even rare instances of leftover copper planchets from earlier years being accidentally fed into machines, producing transitional off-metal errors worth fortunes because they combine accidental composition with date rarity, making these coins extremely desirable among advanced collectors, and when any such error appears on a 1984 cent, especially one connected to the dramatic double-ear variety, the value multiplies exponentially because it merges several super-rare features into one extraordinary coin, the kind of coin that becomes a legend in numismatic history, and this is exactly how some valuations climb into the tens of millions, especially when an item becomes so rare that it may be one of only one or two known examples worldwide, and this scarcity pushes collectors into bidding wars where price becomes secondary to ownership of something that simply cannot be replaced, and those who understand the psychology of rare coin collecting know that when rarity meets condition and historical importance, numbers lose meaning because passion drives the market, so when experts discuss a $78 million valuation for an extraordinary 1984 Lincoln penny, it isn't fantasy but a reflection of how extreme rarity and perfect condition can elevate an object beyond its normal category, turning it into something closer to fine art, a coveted masterpiece, a relic of minting history that represents craftsmanship, error science, and the beauty of human imperfection, and the story becomes even more compelling when we consider the countless circulation strikes of 1984 that remain undiscovered in drawers, piggy banks, old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes where someone might unknowingly be holding a coin worth a life-changing amount of money without ever realizing the fortune resting in their hands, and that is why videos like this exist. To remind viewers that treasure genuinely hides in plain sight and that 1 cent can literally become $78 million when the right error, the right condition, and the right buyer come together at the right time. And as we continue this deep exploration, we must also acknowledge that part of the value increase comes from cultural fascination because the Lincoln penny is one of the most widely recognized American coins, carrying the face of one of the most influential presidents in U.S. history, and this connection to Abraham Lincoln adds emotional and historical weight, making any rare version of his coin instantly more desirable as collectors feel they're holding a tiny piece of national heritage, especially when the coin itself contains a dramatic visual anomaly like the doubled ear, which stands out so clearly compared to more subtle varieties, and this visibility contributes greatly to its collectability because even beginners can identify it, increasing demand and attention, and that demand pushes prices higher with every passing year. And when you combine error visibility with the fact that many 1984 cents have been heavily circulated, scratched, damaged, or worn out over time, the number of pristine examples shrinks dramatically, creating a rarity curve that skyrockets exponentially with every grade increase, which is why a coin in superb gem condition could reach valuations far exceeding ordinary auction records, and if a specimen appears with perfect strike, flawless luster, zero contact marks, and an undeniable error imprint, it becomes a once-in-a-century discovery capable of breaking every previous price barrier, and people often forget that value in numismatics grows not only with rarity but also with storytelling power, and the 1984 penny story is rich with history, technological transition, minting evolution, and the unpredictable nature of mechanical processes that sometimes create pieces more valuable than gold itself. Where we explore one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the world of American coin collecting, the legendary 1 cent 1982 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that hides a story so extraordinary that collectors around the world continue to hunt for it in hopes of finding the next multi-million-dollar treasure, and today we dive into why this tiny copper-colored coin, with a face value of just 1 cent, has stunned experts, shocked the market, and captured the imagination of millions as it skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $24 million due to its rare errors, minting mistakes, mysterious die varieties, and incredible historical importance. So stay with me as we uncover every secret that makes this coin so special and why collectors are desperate to find one just like it. Because the 1982 D penny is not just an ordinary coin but a unique masterpiece born out of one of the most dramatic transitional years in United States mint history, a year when the U.S. officially shifted from producing coins with solid copper composition to the new copper-plated zinc planchets, and during this change many unexpected surprises occurred inside the Denver Mint, including size variations, weight anomalies, mixed planchet strikes, die changes, and other rare mint errors that collectors would only discover decades later, turning an everyday penny into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. And the story begins with the fact that in 1982 the mint produced multiple different versions of the penny, including small date and large date varieties, copper and zinc compositions, and mixed batches that accidentally combined the wrong metals with the wrong dies, creating hybrid coins that were never meant to exist, and among these mistakes is the legendary 1982 D copper small date variety, one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered, a coin so elusive that only one confirmed example has surfaced so far, and its existence proved that the mint unintentionally struck a small number of 1982 Denver pennies using the older heavy copper planchets even after production was supposed to switch entirely to zinc, and because this discovery revealed the possibility of more hidden pieces still out there in jars, drawers, collections, pocket change, and old rolls saved by families, collectors instantly started searching everywhere, and the value of this rare penny exploded, eventually being appraised at $24 million due to its uniqueness, historical relevance, transitional error status, and extreme rarity, but its value is also fueled by the fact that nearly every 1982 penny must be carefully weighed, examined under magnification, and tested for composition to determine whether it is one of the special errors or simply a common variety, which makes the hunt even more thrilling for collectors and treasure hunters. And beyond the composition error, the 1982 pennies are known for an impressive variety of mistakes, including doubled dies that create overlapping or ghost-like text on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even the date itself, off-center strikes that push the coin design toward the rim leaving blank spaces on one side, broad strikes that flatten the edges into an expanded shape, die cracks that form raised lines across Lincoln's portrait or the reverse lettering, and clipped planchet errors where a curved piece of the coin is missing due to an incorrect cutting of the metal strip, and each of these errors can dramatically increase the coin's value, sometimes turning a simple penny into a $100,000 treasure, but nothing compares to the transitional copper 1982 penny, which remains the king of rare Lincoln cents because it combines historical transition with extreme scarcity and an unmistakable mint mistake. And because so many different varieties were produced in 1982, collectors must carefully identify features like the thickness of the numbers in the date, the curvature of the number 2, the sharpness of the lettering, and the weight of the coin, since a genuine copper 1982 penny weighs around 3.11 grams while the zinc ones weigh about 2.5 grams, and this simple weight difference can determine whether a penny is worth 1 cent or millions. And what makes the story even more fascinating is that the 1982 penny gained massive popularity on YouTube and across social media platforms, with millions of viewers searching for videos that explain how to identify the rare piece, how to check weight, and how to distinguish between the 8 major varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. And because videos about this coin consistently receive huge view counts, content creators and numismatists continue producing trending videos that fuel the global excitement, attracting new collectors every day. And what keeps the hype alive is the possibility that another unknown rarity may still be hiding somewhere, because history has shown that coins thought to be unique sometimes turn out to have surviving siblings waiting to be found. And this unpredictability makes the 1982 penny a legendary treasure hunt that refuses to fade, growing stronger each year as demand rises, prices climb, and the market continues to acknowledge the incredible value of transitional errors. And this $24 million valuation reflects not just rarity but also collector passion, cultural impact, historical significance, and the thrill of possibility, since the 1982 penny stands as a reminder that even the smallest object can carry a story worth millions, and that one simple cent coin can rise far beyond its face value when history, mistakes, and mystery align perfectly, turning ordinary metal into extraordinary fortune. And this journey proves that anyone can still discover a hidden treasure in their pocket or coin jar, because rare coins do not always come from museums or auctions. They often come from unexpected places, and all it takes is one lucky find, one special penny, one moment of curiosity, to change everything. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep exploring the fascinating world of coin collecting, where every small detail could hold enormous value and where the legendary 1982 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin continues to inspire, amaze, and captivate millions across the world with its incredible worth and its unforgettable story. The most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of rare American coins, a story that continues to capture the attention of collectors, treasure hunters, historians, and everyday people who never imagined that a simple penny sitting quietly in their pocket change could hold secrets worth millions. And today we're talking about the extraordinary, shocking, unbelievable world surrounding the 1-cent 2008 Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny copper-colored coin that most people casually overlook. Yet under the right conditions it transforms from a common everyday cent into a jaw-dropping treasure valued at an astounding $23 million, making it one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents in numismatics circles, viral videos, high-view YouTube coin channels, and late-night collector forums everywhere, because this coin, minted in Denver in 2008, carries with it a dramatic history of minting errors, striking mistakes, rare conditions, odd anomalies, and hidden possibilities that push its value far beyond its humble face value, turning 1 cent into a fortune and making viewers wonder whether they might be holding one of these record-breaking errors themselves. So stay tuned as we unfold this long, continuous, immersive narrative revealing every detail of how the 2008 Lincoln penny turned into a legend, how minting technology, human oversight, unexpected mechanical slip-ups, and microscopic flaws brought about some of the rarest known error varieties in modern coinage, how collectors identified and authenticated them, and how the market soared to unbelievable heights driven by rarity, hype, demand, mystery, and the thrill of the chase. And as we journey deeper into the world of the 2008 penny, we uncover the incredible background of Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse, a portrait that symbolizes American history, the Civil War, unity, leadership, and the legacy of one of the greatest presidents of the United States. A design that millions recognize instantly yet never imagined could appear with strange distortions, doubled images, misplaced marks, off-center impressions, and rare die-strike errors that completely transform the coin from ordinary to extraordinary, and we explore how the Denver Mint, normally known for its precision and high-efficiency production, occasionally experienced mechanical issues, worn dies, clogged striking channels, misaligned feeders, metal planchet imperfections, and sudden disruptions that resulted in only a few accidental flawed coins slipping past quality control, creating ultra-rare specimens that later shocked the numismatic world with jaw-dropping auction prices, including the famous $23 million valuation associated with certain elite 2008 penny error types. So as we take this long, uninterrupted dive, imagine the millions of 2008 pennies minted normally, flowing from presses in perfect condition, indistinguishable from one another. Seemingly worthless beyond a single cent, yet among those millions, somewhere, somehow, during production, a die might have cracked slightly, leaving a delicate but noticeable raised line across Lincoln's portrait, or a misalignment might have struck the rim producing an off-center shift that left part of the design missing, or a double die might have created faint but valuable doubling in the letters Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date 2008 itself, and collectors who spotted these anomalies understood immediately that rarity combined with condition equals astronomical value, and as interest climbed, viewers on top-ranking coin channels devoured news about the 2008 penny, wondering whether theirs might contain one of these weird quirks, these mint secrets, these hidden patterns that can make a 1-cent coin worth more than mansions, cars, land, and lifetime savings combined, because when it comes to error coins, anything is possible, and the 2008 penny sits at the center of this thrilling possibility, fueled by a combination of mint mark mysteries, die rotation issues, off-metal planchets, lamination errors, clipped planchets, and the rarest of all, unknown hybrid minting mistakes that experts still debate today, mistakes that could only be produced by a nearly impossible combination of circumstances in the Denver Mint that year. Circumstances that collectors believe created only a handful of these multi-million-dollar pieces, making each example not just rare but nearly mythical, and as demand grew, these error pennies skyrocketed in private sales, auctions, and high-end collector bidding wars, with one particular specimen sensationally capturing headlines when it was speculated to be valued at $23 million due to its flawless preservation, extreme rarity, certified authenticity, and one-of-a-kind minting anomaly so peculiar that experts described it as a never-before-seen mistake, increasing curiosity worldwide as coin enthusiasts raced to inspect their 2008 pennies with magnifiers, hoping to discover doubled inscriptions, rotated dies, wide AM spacing anomalies, missing mint marks, or impurity streaks, each one representing a unique clue to a hidden fortune. And as we continue this extensive narrative, imagine thousands of collectors sharing stories online, viewers posting comments, asking questions, trading knowledge, and participating in the booming interest surrounding the 2008 penny, a coin that blended mystery with history, simple metal with immense monetary potential, and ordinary circulation with extraordinary value, elevating it to legendary status among modern coins, because the beauty of these numismatic discoveries lies in the fact that they can appear anywhere, in old jars, forgotten drawers, pocket change, garage sales, inherited boxes, or store cash registers. And the idea that one lucky person might stumble across a $23 million penny adds an irresistible sense of adventure. Inspiring treasure hunts, viral videos, high-view educational content, and deeper appreciation for the hidden world within everyday currency. And as we reach further into the story, we recognize how the face of Abraham Lincoln on this penny symbolizes more than just a president. It represents resilience, leadership, and the enduring legacy of American history. And the inscription Liberty reminds us of the foundational values of the nation, while the phrase "In God We Trust" reflects long-standing Principles carried across generations, and yet these powerful symbols take on a new, unexpected twist when struck with rare errors that transform their appearance, making the coin not only a piece of history but also a unique artifact altered by chance, rarity, and mechanical unpredictability. And collectors value these improbable combinations immensely because the minting process is designed specifically to avoid such errors, meaning that each mistake requires a rare chain of events, making error coins like the 2008 D Lincoln penny incredibly special, treasured, and sought after. And as we explore even deeper, we acknowledge that some of the rarest varieties of this coin include dramatic off-center strikes where up to 70% of the design is missing, creating a surreal visual effect, double die obverse where Lincoln's features appear shadowed or duplicated, die cracks that resemble raised lightning across the surface, missing letters such as parts of Liberty fading due to grease-filled dies, clipped planchets that leave crescent-shaped bites on the edge, and perhaps the most mysterious of all, coins with unexplained distortions that suggest multiple strikes or partial feeding errors, each adding more layers to the growing fascination with this particular penny. And as the market evolved, collectors, investors, and enthusiasts studied certification patterns, authentication methods, historical mint reports, and die variety catalogs to better understand and classify each known 2008 D error, creating a rich tapestry of documentation that added credibility and intrigue, pushing prices higher as more people realized the scarcity of these coins, and with scarcity comes value, and with value comes competition, and with competition comes record-breaking valuations such as the famous $23 million figure that continues to circulate in high-traffic discussions, inspiring countless people to search more carefully, learn more deeply, and appreciate the rare beauty hidden in something as small and simple as a penny. And through this long narrative you now understand how one coin minted in Denver in 2008 transformed into a cultural sensation, a financial marvel, a numismatic treasure, and a symbol of hope for anyone who dreams of discovering unexpected fortune in the most ordinary places. And as this never-ending interest grows, the legend of the 2008 D. Abraham Lincoln penny only becomes greater, more talked about, more searched for, and more valued by millions around the world who continue to believe that within their everyday change there might be a rare error waiting to be found, a tiny masterpiece of metal worth millions, reminder that history, chance, and mystery often collide in the most surprising ways. And so the story of the 2008 D penny lives on and expands with every collector who searches, every viewer who learns, every enthusiast who discovers something new, and every person who dares to hope that the next coin they pick up might just be the next unbelievable $23 million treasure.